Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
I'm Louie.
What, Louie?
Huh?
What's? There's Louie in the house.
And on this episode, we talk about
Feelings?
Emotions and troubles and challenges and doubt. A lot of doubt.
And love.
and we do some live coaching to remind ourselves how awesome we are.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Louie in the house.
Hey.
Are you joining us?
What's going on? Yes, I am.
All right. I'm excited.
Are you?
The Something to Prove podcast. Oh no, we don't do that anymore.
That's not your job. That's his.
Hey.
We're here. What are we doing? This is
Back
very
to me.
exciting.
Yeah, I don't get to do this very often. So thank you. I am honored.
Anyway, I asked Louie to sit in,
Yeah.
Evan,
Okay.
for this week's episode
Mm-hmm.
because Louie's having a bit of a rough patch. And I thought, hey, usually on the Something to Prove podcast, Evan beats out of Mark. Let's give Louie some love and let's help him figure his stuff out.
Well, I talk to Louie every week.
We do. We speak.
So just for the audience, just so everyone knows, this is Louie.
Hi.
Oh, there you go.
He's the COO of PHANTA.
Yeah.
And he has a big heart. And a year and a half ago, I guess only a year ago now.
It's almost a year. At the end of this month,
Holy
it'll be
smokes.
a year.
A year ago, I asked Louie to be the COO of my company because when I was at Tony Robbins with Mr. Evan Carmichael, he said, Mark, you're terrible at running organizations. You need help. You need someone with heart. You need someone who can feel their way through the situation and build a team. So I asked Louie, after 5 years of working with me, to become the COO.
Yeah.
And anyway.
It took him 8 weeks too long. Or
Here
6
he is.
weeks.
Here he is. I talked to him like the next day about it. But anyway, here he is. So anyway, I thought why not change things up a little bit? Why not have Louie join us? So welcome, Louie.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And yes, I am going through a bit of a rough patch.
Whenever you're on the podcast, you always end up talking like what's that guy that you said you really liked?
I don't even like him.
Oh.
I don't even like him. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Let me break out of the normal like yes, Mark. Thank you very much, Mark.
All right.
Yeah. So look, I'm going through some man.
Okay. Wait, is Mark not joining us?
I'm here. Anyway, how's it going, Evan? Let's catch up first before we get into deconstructing Louie and his nervous breakdown. How's life?
Well, listen, I was thinking about Louie yesterday. I messaged him yesterday, right? Did I message you yesterday?
Like some sort of prophet. You somehow dialed into my emotions and were like, and you just like messaged me. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what you do.
Well, look, man, I can tune into that frequency of that beacon, and so can you. So yay us.
All right. So I messaged Louie yesterday asking how he was doing.
Yeah.
Because we didn't chat on Monday. Normally we chat on Mondays, but it was family day for us here in Canada, so we didn't chat. So I don't know, just feeling like an outreach. So now he's here. Now we brought him into the podcast. Okay, so how am I doing? Today is chaos. It's amazing. It's public facing day. It's interviews and podcasts, and I'm doing a lot of calls too because everybody who bought a ticket, we offered a refund and a call with me. So I've been like slammed with. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. Although I don't like the phone calls as much as the Zoom because I'm visual. So just talking to people from all the cities that we sold tickets to and learning about their story and helping them sell real estate and helping them train horses and helping them do all sorts of fun stuff. It's great. So, but now this is my break. And then we got like 5 more calls or something after it.
Do you have a heart out?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's gotta be whatever we put in the calendar.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mark, you run the show. I'm the donkey here. What are we doing?
So here's what happened. Louie, with his big, tremendous heart, has been working to build the team. His one word is passion.
It is, yeah.
So
Hashtag passion.
So I guess he feels like he's always striving for passion and never quite has enough of it. Is that it?
It's both. It's that it's what you put out, and it's also what you strive and hunger for. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And so here's the thing. When I'm not feeling my best or I'm frustrated with work or the team or progress or this or that, I call my friend Louie up and I literally just either beat the crap out of him or rant about how frustrated I am. And Louis just sucks in everyone's feelings and wears them like a skin, as Evan says.
Yeah.
And so, yesterday we had a really good call, 45 minutes, and he helped me understand the things I'm not doing well and how I could be a better leader and all these things. And I came in this morning feeling great because my friend Louis helped me feel better. And he came in this morning having the worst night ever because he took all my negativity, all of my pain, and he just like sucked it in.
Yeah, I couldn't eat. I woke up at like 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I was just like, I was talking to my soon-to-be ex-wife about things, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if Mark can be happy, and I don't know how to make him happy. And then the conversation kind of quickly shifted to, well, what makes you happy, Louis? Like, you're always concerned with others. When is it time to actually focus on you?
Wait. This is a conversation, or this is a conversation with Mark?
So this is after the conversation with Mark. I stuck around here. I'm in the office and just was kind of not feeling well. And like Mark says, like by the end of the day, I'm an empath. So I just soak everything in. And and like you said, I kind of wear stuff.
So the conversation with yourself afterwards?
With my ex-wife. Right.
Oh, you talked to your ex-wife about all this stuff after?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she pointed out, and this is why I wanted to have Louis on today. She pointed out that, Louis, you're so worried about me. You're so worried about Mark. You're so worried about the team. You're so worried. When are you worried about yourself?
Yeah.
That is the thing. I'm a thinker. I'm working to be more of a feeler. But Evan, Louis, for people like you who just soak in everyone's positivity or negativity, the good things or the bad things, where you put other people's first all the time. And ultimately, I came in this morning and I said, Louis, how's it going? Let's talk. And we started to connect.
Yeah.
And he was questioning everything.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? And why am I in the right role? And should I be here? And shouldn't I be here? Like everything's on the line. He's going through a really tough season.
Yeah.
But Evan,
okay,
for people like him, how do you not wear everyone's skin and then let it just turn you into mush?
Okay, well, there's a couple of things. First off, we'll talk about that on Monday. We'll leave that part alone. Second off,
no, hold on. We can edit this out. Say it.
Yeah.
Okay. You shouldn't be having those conversations with your soon-to-be ex-wife, because it's building you back together, which is not what you need, and it's not good for you, and it's not especially not good for her. Where she's like helping you emotionally and all that stuff. So like it's already hard enough that you don't go to her for emotional support, because it's only going to make it harder to break up. Not for you, but for her. Like she feels she's helping you and like it can work out. And like you got to go somewhere else.
Crossed my mind as I was having the conversation. I'm like, oh no, there's like emotional sinew building up again here.
Yeah.
Like
you can't do that.
Coming alive again. Like,
it's coming. You can't do that. It's not fair to her. Like you can move on from it, but it's worse for her, which makes it worse for you to end this thing sooner, whether you want to cut that out or not. But
okay. Now we can decide whether we want to cut that or not later.
Yeah,
no,
whether it's me or Mark or a horse, like it doesn't matter. Go. You got to add. Somebody else has to fill that role for you now, right?
Okay.
Yeah, animals.
Yeah, right.
What?
Louis talks to animals.
Yeah.
So
no, he's not enough. He should be.
Oh. I gotta go hard. I gotta lean in more on my Dr. Dolittle superpowers.
Dude, I told you when it was that warm day to go sit outside and try to make a squirrel or a bird come to you.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
All
you could do that. I think you could do that.
That's my next Instagram video.
I'm sitting here.
Talk to a bird.
Dude.
No? Okay.
It's going to happen. I legit believe that could happen. That could happen. Everybody thinks it's nuts, but you are nuts. You could bring a bird to you. Or a squirrel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Mark, how did you feel after the conversation with Louis?
Last night?
Yep.
I felt like he listened to me. I felt he really helped provide the guidance that I needed in terms of what to do next steps. He built me up, and I felt Yeah, I felt like, listen, I'm not going to say I was ecstatic. I was really, really frustrated, and I shared all of my frustrations,
which is good.
And yeah, I felt closer to Louis because of it.
Now, how did it end? How did you feel, like, not later on that night reflecting on it, but leaving the office after finishing your call with Louis, or your talk?
How did I leave? Well, my kids pulled me away, so I had to bounce pretty quickly. But it was like, good. I'm glad we have a plan. I felt reassured. Great, we have a plan. We know what we're doing. Let's try this tomorrow. I'm going to listen to Louis, because his advice to me was, hey, Mark, whatever you would have naturally done, do the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, perfect. Thank you. I'm going to do the exact opposite to my gut reaction here.
Because my whole point was that, so Mark brings up the fact that things are kind of still the same. Even as much as we've changed over the past year, things are still kind of the same as they were 4 years ago. But part of that is the approach, the mindset, the way we deal with things. And if that doesn't change, then of course things are still going to kind of feel archaic and stagnant. Because if you're just approaching the problems with the same approach or mindset, then no matter how much work we do in trying to fix process and systems and people and communication and et cetera, it's still not going to work, because the way you're doing things is still the way you would have done it 4 years ago, when everything else has changed. That needs to change too.
Okay, great. So the miss is that Mark felt better after talking to you.
And I shouldn't have been.
No. That's great. It's the miss on Louis' part to say, I just crushed that conversation and made Mark feel better, and not then going home and feeling like you don't know what to do. You just did what you're supposed to do. What are you supposed to do? You just did it. It just happened.
Yes.
Your exact role just experienced, and you're feeling like garbage. Meanwhile, you did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think I told you that this morning.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't. Yeah, you're right.
It didn't have the energy or conviction that I gave it in.
No, Evan was really excited.
Or the timing or the setup. But yeah. Listen, when I came up with what PHANTA stood for,
and
I sent it to Mark, I'm like,
at
this
like
is
6:30 in the morning because you couldn't sleep at night.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we should just quickly update the audience, because I released that podcast unedited, basically.
Which one?
Last week's episode.
Oh, it ended so brutal, right? Last week?
Yeah. So, I mean, I cut out a few of my pauses where I just stood there like almost in tears, kind of thinking things through. But I don't know if anyone who's listening to this got through the podcast, because the other thing is it was very uncomfortable to listen to. Not just for me. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, who would want to listen to this? This is really uncomfortable stuff. But Evan and I had that conversation. And then when I was driving home, we talked a little bit. And then that night we talked a little bit more. And then the next morning I awoke to a text. Well, I didn't wake up to the text, but I got out of the gym at like 6:20, and Evan's like, hey, Evan was already awake. And it was before the sun rose, actually, because we jumped on a video call, if you remember, and the sun was rising on the horizon. And you told me that you had rethought our conversation, that you felt like maybe I'd taken things a bit hard or whatever, and you developed a brand new acronym for what PHANTA should stand for and what PHANTA should be and what my role should be. So I just want to let everyone know that yes, the conversation was really hard last week.
Oh my God, but it blew up to like the most amazing thing of all time. We didn't just come up with an acronym. We came up with a framework for the entire business that happens to have an elegant acronym on top of it.
Well, more like a framework for my life, but yes.
Right? How great is that?
Yes. And then more than anything though, I was just like, one, I was feeling more beat up than I had felt in a long time. But Evan also, as much as you beat me up, you were there like all Thursday night, Friday, you were like super jazzed and excited about it. And I don't think you slept very much that evening. I don't know if it's because you felt bad or not, but I do know that it kept you up.
Yeah. And this is the thing. So for Louis, like if you can't guide somebody through something, then you should be worried about it. It should be on your mind. You should be figuring out like, what else can I do to make this better? But Mark left feeling good, and then had the greatest sleep of all time and showed up to the office amazing. you should even, so it's identifying to know that I served Mark and I did my role, and I performed. I was awesome. Not leaving feeling like you suck. Now, if you just came in and told him all this crap and you didn't end up with anything and he had no solutions and Mark goes off and has a terrible night, then yeah, you caused that. You should feel bad.
Right. Yeah. No,
but you didn't. You left him feeling great, and he had a great night, walked in the next day feeling great. You should feel great.
I should, but I didn't, right? I think there's a lot going on with my life right now, and trying to make everyone happy, especially Mark. I've taken as my duty of service, and he came to me this morning and he's like, that's not your job, right? Like, your job isn't supposed to make me happy. And I was like, and I don't know, I can't get past that because it kind of is. Like,
yeah, I agree. I think all of our jobs is to
my
make Mark happy.
Self-worth is tied up in the experience of others.
I don't mind that your job is to make Mark happy. Not the whole role, but as part of it. I think part of my job description as a human is to make Mark happy. But happy isn't just what he wants to hear. Like,
no kidding. Holy smokes, no kidding.
Whatever. Mark is way happier because of me. I had a significant role in Mark's happiness. Not all of it, but a significant role.
Louis, you missed what I said. So your advice to me last night.
Right.
I called you frustrated.
You did.
And I said, Louis, I can either leave just a mean, blistering comment to the team about how I think my words were disappointingly underwhelming this work is.
Mediocre is the word you used.
Great, mediocre, the opposite of extraordinary.
Right.
Wait, were you working on my stuff or somebody else's?
Somebody else's.
Okay, good.
So I could do that, or I could just fix everything.
Yeah, which is what he would have done 4 years ago.
Or I could try and comment my way to making things better, but basically hedge and just let go of the fact that in my gut I know that this just isn't good enough.
Also 4 years ago.
And then Louis got super angry and he's like, no, you're not doing 1, you're not doing 2, you're not doing 3. We're going to address this. We're going to have a conversation about it. You're going to give the team the opportunity to fix it. You're going to coach them through it. You're going to do everything that you need to do to explain to them your thinking, how you would do it, why you would do it, to give them the chance to fix it. I wouldn't have, that's not even one of the 3 options I had. I don't know why it wasn't. My options were, I'm going to blast them, I'm going to do it myself, or I'm going to ignore it.
Yeah.
And so that was his advice to Mark. Whatever your gut reaction is, do the exact opposite of that. So when Louis came in this morning and said, I got to make the people in my life happy, I got to make my team happy, I got to make you happy, Mark. That's the gift that he's been for a lot of people for a lot of years. But his advice to me was what's the opposite of what I would have done a bunch of years ago. My advice to you was what's the opposite of making everyone else happy and not putting yourself first for once. That's what I said.
Okay, so now because making Mark happy makes me happy.
Yeah, but
I think everyone on this podcast should be working 80% of their time to try and make me happy. How about that?
Like making the PHANTA model, all of the previous conversation makes me so happy for myself. I know it's a gift to Mark. And Mark is always resistant to everything. And then I tell him, listen, Mark 2022 is shaking his head at you right now. You're going to come around. You'll figure it out. He's like, Louis not on board. Louis not on board with this. He's like, you just didn't frame it right. Louis is on board. He is this. And it makes me happy to then gift this because you're built to serve. Hey, book plug, right? Like your happiness comes from helping other people and knowing that you had an impact.
Yeah. And the flip side of that is disappointing them.
But you didn't. Like that's the miss. Mark loved it.
Service, right?
You what?
Which feels like I'm not interested in actually serving him positively.
Of course, but he felt amazing afterwards.
Yeah, I know he felt amazing, but the culmination of that phone call left me with this idea that even if I build the company that Mark wants, it may be in vain because even that may not make him happy. So I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't.
It's like couples counseling right now.
That is not Louis thinking. I don't know who this is in front of me right now.
Okay. All right.
That's not how you operate. That even if I do my best, Mark's never going to be happy. And I'm damned if I'm doing, and damned if I don't.
Planted that seed in your mind.
Yeah, man, that is not Louis. That is some.
That's nice because I'm like.
That is some foreign object right there.
I didn't plant that in his mind, but I did admit to him secretly deep down inside that my greatest fear, like you've asked me a bunch of times, Evan, Mark, if you're not doing this, what do you want to do? Louis asked that last night. Mark, if we're not doing this, what are we going to do?
Yeah, he gave me a whole bunch of stuff like, oh, well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to. Okay, great. You've told me that.
But my answer was, I am terrified that no matter what I work towards, I'll get there and I won't be happy. That scares me. That really, really, really scares me. If I'm not doing PHANTA, I know I'll do something else, and then I'll work towards something that still may not make me happy. I'm scared. I'm worried that no matter what I do, I won't be happy. That is what I said to you.
Yeah, and that scared me.
So what's the problem, Mark?
What's the problem?
Yeah.
That I'm afraid that no matter what I do, like the actual problem, that I'm afraid that no matter what I do, I won't be happy. That I'll be constantly, that extraordinary as a one word is a very heavy weight to carry because nothing is extraordinary in my mind. You said, let's crush disappointment in 2020. I don't even know how to do that.
Let's crush what?
Disappointment in 2020.
Okay.
That's an Evan Carmichael quote that he doesn't remember.
Great. I don't remember, but I like it. So deeper underneath that is still the same issue that we've been working on the whole time.
What now? No, this is Louis' episode. Why are you deconstructing me?
Because it's similar.
Okay, go. Tell me the answer.
No, you know the answer.
We're built to serve.
No. Why are you not happy, Mark?
Because I hate my life.
Why? We've done like 18 episodes on the same topic. It's what it's always going to come circle around to.
Okay, hit me with it.
Because he's doing all that he doesn't want to do constantly. But again, I don't even know if that's going to change, if it changes.
It's because you're still tying your self-worth
to the outcome and not the effort.
You're still focused on what would I do otherwise? What are we going to reach otherwise if I'm not doing this? It's still some outcome over there. You're never going to be happy chasing that outcome.
Because I was built to serve. A new book from Evan Carmichael. Pre-order March 3rd.
Being proud of the daily effort that you're putting in, which still relates back to Louis. Like, you should feel awesome that you crushed that conversation with Mark. Mm-hmm. You did your job.
No, you're right. I should. It's just that the effort isn't good enough sometimes. And the way Mark will look at it is like, no, like there are no mistakes. We can make no mistakes. And it's like, but how do you learn like that? Like you don't learn anything.
I'm fine with you making mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't like the team making mistakes on things that we shouldn't be making mistakes on because we're reported to be professional. There's a difference.
Okay. But if you don't show them what to do, or if you don't have a conversation to set it up that way.
Yeah, we're getting into the nuance of our conversation, but
I'm just saying you have you want to do 100 chin-ups. You do 100 chin-ups at like this height, not like this height. Like, it's cool to have high standards, but you gotta have the mindset to actually approach it. And sometimes that road is filled with mess. And it's not going to be, it's going to be complicated.
Not sometimes, always. If you're creating something new, creativity equals messiness.
Yeah, success should be difficult, but we've gotten into this idea that, oh no, it's a mountain, a snowball that's just going to keep going and going and going, and it's actually more like one step forward, then a half step back, and then maybe 2 steps forward. But I don't know, like for me, this has been like a learning experience. Like I didn't know anything about marketing. I was a video editor for like 20 years, right? And then I was put into this role, and I just feel like I'll just never catch up to who he needs me to be. But I think I've equated with who he needs me to be as something completely different. Like, I've lost sight of who he needs me to be. And who I need to be was the person I was last night with him on the phone. And I see that now.
Oh, the person who you were last night is the person you need to be. And yet you wake up with the worst night ever, feeling terrible about yourself.
Right.
Great. So just go be that person and then celebrate it.
I did. Yeah, I just didn't see it. I just saw more discomfort, more pain, and more disappointment instead of recognizing that was a turning point. That was an opportunity for us to get back on the same page, get excited again, and kind of look at a new approach of how to tackle things. And that's exactly what he did this morning. He did the opposite of what he would have done.
You need to walk out feeling like, even when I gave the PHANTA framework and Mark didn't catch that it spelled PHANTA, even then when I spelt it like line by line, Jesus.
Yeah, right. It was the and. You put
4. It's 4, not and, it's 4.
Fine, you put 4, but rather than add a comma and then tuck it in the line before, so it would say PHANTA, you capitalized the nasty.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm
coming, even though Mark is giving me crap and is like not open to it and doesn't like it.
I think what I said was, quote unquote, I'm open.
Whatever. In my head, I'm telling myself, this is amazing. I'm delivering on a silver platter genius for Mark and his company to go off and use. And he's going to get it now, or he's going to get it tomorrow, or he's going to get it in a week, or he's going to get it in 2 years. But I'm going to make sure that he gets it because it's the right thing for him.
Right.
But Mark left your thing feeling great already. And then had a great night and walks in all excited the next day. Like, it's recognizing that you did your job. You crushed
sleep
it.
quite well, yeah.
Did you really?
Oh, I slept fantastic. Yeah, afterwards I was able to have a great night with my kids. We wrapped up what we needed to wrap up. And I mean, I still had some lingering thoughts, but I mean, I didn't bounce out of our call like on fire. But no, that's why this morning I was so surprised when you said that you had such a rough night. And that's the thing, like, so how does he do what he does so well and amazingly and not where everyone's, cops and firefighters and nurses and social workers and all these people do the same thing, right? Yeah. Really, people who are amazing at connecting with people and aren't cold-hearted people like me. I'm going to sound terrible.
Wait, hold on. Did you tell Louis what you are? What is your expertise? What did you say you are an expert at?
The podcast episode, did you hear? When I said that I'm an expert at feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a feeling expert.
He listens to it. But
I've listened to every episode.
Here's the thing, right?
Here's the thing.
You know that I'm not a dog person, right, Evan? You know that I have a dog, a 2-year-old Rottweiler. She loves me. She looks up at me. She only listens to me. She's very good with me. And I look at her and I'm just like, oh, that's really nice. And yet when I hear a family talk about how their pet passed away, I'm always struck silently with the reaction like, that must be really hard for you, I guess, eh? And other people who love dogs and are empathetic and everything, they're just like, oh my goodness, I remember this and I remember that. And I'm just like, so losing a dog is like tough, right? So if you're cold like me, it's not hard to listen to people's problems and I want to help them. I want to solve them. I want to make them go away. But I don't know, like it doesn't strike me the way that it strikes him or maybe you or other people who really, really care about people, which is what makes you guys so gifted at this. So how do you do what you do in such a gifted way without having to have everything stack up, have a nervous breakdown, run off into the mountains and live alone and all of that stuff?
Wow. You got me going all kinds of places. All right.
Wow. Living alone in the mountains.
Your beard might just like grow out. You might run away. You might.
Okay. But there will be moments where you might get pushed that far. Like if I let Mark down on something, even why I'm doing all these calls today, because I disappointed people. I let them down. I canceled my tour. We refunded them the money and I still want to over deliver on the value. If you let Mark down and he left feeling terrible about his life and you couldn't get people through, then I would feel terrible. I wouldn't sleep. I tried to figure out how to make it better. Because if you go on a journey with people and you're taking them down to the hole before you can go up. If you leave them in the hole because you didn't have the skills to pull them out of it, that's going to eat you up. And it should eat you up because now they've left you worse than when they came to you.
And there has been 2 occasions, Evan, where you've pushed me really, really, really hard. Yeah. Last week being one of them when, it's not that we're not talking. It's just I don't have any answers for you and I kind of have to leave you hanging. And then I can see that, you know, every few hours you're checking in. How are things? You're trying to see if I'm open to talking because it's on your mind, maybe, let's say.
Yeah. And then what happened? Then we created the framework, which is awesome.
The greatest framework ever.
The greatest framework ever for PHANTA. But yes, you should. If you've left somebody in the hole, hopefully it doesn't happen that often. But if you do, then you should do everything you can to help them pull out, even if it means sending them to somebody else because you're not the guy to help them.
Right. Yeah.
So those are hopefully strategic moments where you're trying to help somebody. You're not making mistakes all the time. You don't go super deep unless you feel confidently you can pull them out. But that's not what happened last night. Mark felt great.
Did you feel like I felt great off the call?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
And you felt when I was leaving the office that I wasn't great because I went to walk out and I went like this and I just said, see you tomorrow. And you literally chased after me and said, what's wrong? And I said nothing.
Yeah, I knew, like right as soon as he didn't even have to do the peace sign. As the way he walked out of the room. Okay, so going down. Like right away. I knew.
This is crazy. I mean, maybe this comes naturally to both. This is insane to me that like literally I was just like, see you tomorrow. Yeah. And he's like, whoa, hold on. What's wrong? I'm like, yeah, nothing. And then I walked out. Later that night, I called, talked for 45 minutes, asked for 2 minutes. We talked for 45 and then I was like, thank you. And off we go. So what do you do next time then? So that doesn't happen for you. Evan loves it so much right now. He's got a big smile on his face.
Yeah, you say I'm Louis, the king of the world. You see what I just did? That's what you say to yourself.
It's hard when you put self-care, the care of others ahead of your own self-care. So.
But that's okay. Then how is that ahead of your own self-care?
Because I didn't deal with the way I felt.
So maybe you should have called me up then.
Yeah.
Right afterwards and said, hey, Mark, listen, this call we had 15 minutes ago, I'm not feeling great about it.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't know. I didn't feel like I feel like you've been really good to talk to about, you know, the issues that I've been having with Allie and stuff, and Evan also. But
oh, you hear that, Evan also.
Well, no,
dude, can you stop interrupting? That's not the intent. Jesus Christ, Mark, go.
You've both been very helpful with all that, and I feel like I need to. There's like an image or a perception that I need to uphold. Like I need to be some sort of rock, and or else people in here will see the cracks, and they'll see that I'm actually just a imposter, and I'm not this like next level empath who can at a moment's notice know exactly what you need and deliver.
And yet you're the guy who just saw Mark walking in a slumpy way and then decided to spend 45 minutes with him and say, you're not allowed to leave, boss.
Well, no, I didn't say that, but I knew if he didn't call me, I would have called him. Like that was the gravity that he was emoting to me. Like I understood we were at like a DEFCON 3, you know? So I don't know, man. I guess I got to get better at recognizing it because this has happened before, right? Like you've talked to me about this before. So
recognizing that you crushed it.
Yeah.
That I did exactly what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, but somehow I didn't attribute the value to it, right? Like there was no...
yes, that's the whole problem.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, Mark.
The whole thing!
You're not attributing value to the thing that you're amazing at and made other people feel awesome with.
Right.
And so you attribute it to lack of self-care, but it's like helping Mark and you feeling amazing about, I just saved my friend, is the ultimate self-care. You just didn't attribute it to yourself.
Which I think that would have happened if Mark had come to me about anything other than the thing that was very specific to something I'm tied to, which is like the thing that he was upset about is something that like I'm supposed to be handling, right? And
yeah.
So like the reason why I didn't feel like yippee after was if it was about anything else, like anything else, relationship, blah, 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 whatever, I would have felt great after. But because it was tied into like my disappointment of my reflection of what I'm doing, when it came to those things, the things I'm not good at, right? Or the things I need to get better at, then that's when it went sideways. And I think if it was in a different context,
here's the thing. You need to eliminate the possibility that this is not the role for you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Stop doubting yourself and second guessing everything. This is what you're doing. And then within that, you can work on it. Like how many times Mark had to tell me, Evan, I don't think we can be your agency because we're too slow for you. And we're like, Mark, just shut up. You're doing it. Like, I want to build this with you. I want you to have a seat at the table. Stop telling me that you're too slow and just get faster. I don't want to hear it again, right? It's like, own that this is your role.
Do you want to know?
And you still don't know what you're doing. And you're figuring it out as you go. And take any other video editor and throw them into a COO role, and they'll drown in 40 seconds. So yes, you can say, okay, this is my fault. I need to get better at it. And give yourself a little bit of flack to say, okay, I'm working on the systems underneath me, but not question the whole thing and come in and like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing anymore. You're crushing what you're doing. How's that? You like that?
I do. So
what?
you just tapped into something we haven't talked about on the podcast, but
oh, okay, we haven't.
No, and last week you asked about it, and I said it was a private conversation, but that's okay. Here's what I can share. So we've been helping Evan with stuff. Evan moves incredibly quick, and he's chewing on some celery as well. But anyway, he moves very, very, very fast. And then finally on a Sunday, you and I had a conversation where I was like, I really think that we're holding you back. I think I'm holding you back, and as a friend who cares about you, I don't want to be the one who holds you back. And then you had that conversation where you're like, Mark, hold
on. Pause. Louis feels the same way about you right now.
This is what's interesting. Whoa. That's cool. This is what's interesting. Louis, when I walked you through the conversation I had with Evan, do you remember what you told me? You remember?
No.
You said, you're such a idiot.
Did I really? I
Yes.
said those words?
Yes.
That sounds like me, but okay.
You said, you're such a idiot.
Yeah.
Stop. He's telling you what he wants.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, I did say that.
And just realize that you have to do this. Stop being scared and just do it.
Yeah.
Stop pushing him away.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right. Honestly, if everything that comes out of this podcast was actually adhered to, like you actually did the that we talk about on this podcast, we would be the people we want to be.
Who, me?
Me? Who are you talking to?
I'm sorry, more Mark.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
And Evan too.
Oh no, Evan too, because dude, as iron
sharp as iron.
Yeah, as titanium as you are, dude. Like there are times where you feel the same pains I feel. I've talked to you about it, right?
Yeah. But understand, Louis, that Mark wants to do this with you.
Yeah, I think that sunk into today because it was hammered into me this morning. Like, hey, man, I don't know where this is coming from, but like I'm like we're on this train, and if you weren't on the train, then I probably wouldn't be on it. And I was like,
you're hedging. What did I say?
You said that if I wasn't a part of this, you wouldn't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was like amazing to hear.
Yeah. So stop questioning yourself and get better. You're working on it. Mark wants to do this with you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it makes me feel validated. It makes me feel good.
Should scare the shit out of you a little bit.
It does.
Good.
So just remember that, and then stop hedging against it.
Right.
Just remember that, because Mark may not express it enough, or when you need it. Where did Mark go? He just took off.
It's all good. He's dealing with something, but keep going. Keep going.
Well, now we're talking about Mark, and now he left. Jesus Christ. Drager. Unbelievable, this guy dealing with something. I got to go deal with something too. This guy. Anyway, he wants to build it with you.
Yeah.
So stop, just eliminate the other options. Understand that this is a great role for you. You want to be here. You want to get better. It's not like you want to be doing something else. You just feel like you're not good enough at it. And guess what? You're not. Awesome. You're going to get better. You're a video editor who's 1 year almost into being a COO.
Yeah, you're right. Right. I mean, I should I told him, and this is all prefaced with like all the amazing progress I think I've made this year. Like losing all the weight that I've lost and just like Tony Robbins, man, was like transformative for me. And it's just, I think what happened was there's an abundance of change happening in my life.
Yeah.
Physically, there's change. In terms of my relationships, there's change. There's emotional change that's happening. There's all this change that's surrounded around my career path. So I think I got overwhelmed with the change. And I think I used the word tornado this morning, where I think I blend everything kind of together. Right. And I just got very overwhelmed with this sudden rush of like change everywhere. Right. So I don't know. It's almost like, you know, when like the aperture of a camera is open too wide and you're just taking in too much. Right. I need to get better at like focusing that.
Sure, but I wouldn't use the camera aperture. You happy, Mark? You left us in the middle of the conversation when I was talking about you?
We had a client call Louis 3 times and then me 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
So it must have been an emergency, right?
And it was, right?
No.
Yeah.
Right?
It wasn't an emergency.
That's why you answered on the podcast. Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The camera analogy is wrong.
Okay.
Because ultimately what used to be too wide is now normal.
Right. Okay. Yeah, my benchmark. Yeah.
Behind the mountain is more mountains.
Right.
Because now imagine if that's listen, and it's a ton of change and it's a lot, especially when you're dealing with personal stuff as well. But if this is your max, then you can't build.
No, it's not my max.
100 person.
I know it's not even close to that.
It's your max right now on some days.
Yeah. Right.
But it'll be easy street in a year.
Yeah.
Because you've grown stronger.
Can I tell you, I don't know if I'm sure I've mentioned this to you, but when I talk to other entrepreneurs or other people about what we've done, they're always impressed. They're like, wow, you took this guy who, you know, has been with you for a great team and you moved him like up to taking over the company. And I always kind of like, one, yes, of course, opposite of me, leads with heart, super great at all of these things. But two, I kind of laugh a little bit. Like it's a little bit of a chuckle amongst entrepreneurs because like, I feel kind of bad for him. Because here's the thing, when you have kids, the kid is born, you freak out, you grow up with the kids, right? You parent, your parenting grows with your kids. Yeah. When you start a business, entrepreneurship 101, you learn things the hard way. Here I've come along and I basically handed you a 14-year-old company with you having zero, like not zero, but next to no entrepreneurial background.
Pretty much. And
said, hey, why don't you become an entrepreneur for a 14-year-old company and help me make it somewhere between 15 to 20 times larger in as fast of a time as possible. And it's like you basically adopting like an 8, a 12, a 15, and an 18-year-old having zero parenting experience, Uncle Buck style. And me and the other entrepreneurs kind of chuckle at this and go, wow, yeah, that's tough. I don't know if you realize that that's what has happened to you, but yeah, it's tough.
I haven't had time to realize it.
Okay, but here's the thing. You should only live in that mindset 4% of the time.
What am I doing the other 96%?
Living is it's the guy who crushes it.
Yeah. I'll Uncle Buck the crap out of this thing.
You like that reference? I did that just
I
for
love it,
Louis.
and I just watched it a couple weeks ago.
I'll be Captain Buck.
The great thing
Right?
is,
It's like, I got this.
No,
It's only in the extreme because here's the thing: when you default to that, that this is, oh my God, and this is so overwhelming, then you stay complacent. Then it's like it's easy to stay slow. There's some days that you're gonna need it, and maybe like a yesterday you kind of needed it to remind yourself of how far you've come, which is great. But if all you're looking at is how far you've come, you're living in the past. It's like, I'm more than capable of handling this stuff.
No, you're right.
That's the other 96.
Sure. All right. This has been very helpful.
Right?
Something to Prove podcast is amazing.
No, really. I feel good. Like, I feel a lot better. Like,
it's all Evan. Evan's really, just for anyone listening or watching,
both of you.
Evan's really, really good at this.
It's both of you. Like I told you both, like I feel like we're waves a lot of the time. Like me and Mark, like we go through these like kind of ebbs and flows. And like I was at the gym last week, and I think we texted each other Saturday, and I wrote this like long text about, you know, who we're gonna become and who we are and how much you guys have helped me. And I truly like I just want to tell everybody out there that whoever's listening, this podcast, these people have changed my life for the better, like a lot. So I have a lot of gratitude for you both.
Feeling the love, man. There's the passion coming out.
No, I do though, and I don't think you'll ever really know.
Oh, dude, I know more than you know.
That is a classic Evan line.
I already know. I feel it, dude. I feel the love 100% and more.
I think the love is there. Yeah,
No, Mark, your expertise is feeling.
No, I love it.
No, but really, I thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. Like this past year has been one of the most challenging, most amazing years of my life, because I don't think I would have done half the things I've done. And you guys allowed me to really dig in and believe in myself.
But here's the exciting thing.
I believe.
This is nothing.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Captain Buck in the house.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck.
John.
No, I said he graduated. Uncle Buck wasn't the man. He was forced in the situation and was scared and freaked out the whole time. Captain Buck is the step up to say, I got 4 kids, no problem. I got this. Let's go.
He ends up marrying that lady at the end of the movie who he didn't want to marry for like the longest time. Yeah.
Captain Buck.
You guys Uncle Buck me.
General Buck. King Buck.
Captain Buck.
Captain Buck.
All
King
right.
Buck. Admirable.
King Buck.
Yeah.
Leonidas Buck? Leonidas? I don't know.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. I'm glad we're feeling the love, y'all.
Yeah, feel good.
If you want to see the episode where Angry Evan lets Mark have it, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there. Today we get awkward.
We do get awkward. Actually, that's just the best way to explain it.
Okay, perfect. Stay tuned. It's a long one. It's a doozy.